Adobe Encore CS4 is an authoring tool that can be used for several different things. We're going to be using it to create a DVD. It can also be used to author a Blu-ray disc, which is high definition video, and it can also be used to generate interactive flash applications. So the lessons I'm going to show you in the next couple videos can get you introduced to Encore, but there's so much more to be done with it. In fact, it's probably the one program that ties all the other Adobe products together. We begin by launching Adobe Encore, and we begin with a new project. Now, just like every other Adobe, pretty much every other Adobe project that we've worked with, I always require you to put all of your media into one folder before beginning. Okay, and we're going to learn the importance of that here in a few moments. But I'm going to begin a new project. And when I do, it's going to ask me what the name of the project is, as well as the location. And I'm going to use the video class. We're going to use some scary movie trailers they made as assets, as we're going to call them, videos that we're going to put together into one DVD. And that's essentially what a DVD is a series of videos set in timelines, each timeline being a chapter. The DVD essentially goes in and tells one chapter to play after the next. But it also gives you the option to have buttons that'll take you to those individual timelines. So I'm going to go ahead and name this Scary Movie DVD. And I'm also going to go ahead and pick its location. I'm going to navigate out to the desktop for this project, where I've made a folder called Project 3 DVD. And I hit OK. So that way all of my assets, all of my external files will be put into that folder. Next, I want to make sure under my project settings that I am in DVD mode. Unless you have a Blu-ray burner, it's pointless to build a Blu-ray. Also, we're going to be working with NTSC standards. That's the national television standard that we've been talking about. Those dimensions are 720/480. And it automatically puts in the frame rate and the codecs that we're going to be using. Go ahead and hit OK. Now it takes a few seconds to build the various features of it. So while we're building, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little rundown on the actual settings here, the interface of Adobe Encore. First, we have 4 different panels over here. If you select the word project, this is similar to Premiere. This is where all our assets will go. Assets are going to be any media that we want to use in our DVD. That can include video, that can include photographs, because we can do slideshows, audio, and probably most importantly is menus. And simply, we're going to look at menus in a minute, but menus are Photoshop files that have various layers that determine buttons and backgrounds. And in one of my future lessons, I'm going to show you how to make a custom animated background with the use of Photoshop. So anything we bring in will be here. And even if the video you're bringing in is not the right format, don't worry. We'll be able to transcode, which is translate the format from, say, AVI into the MPEG format that is needed on a DVD. So Encore essentially does all the work for you. The next panel is menus, and when we work with menus, we work with main menus, we work with chapter select menus, maybe you have a special features menu, and you can create several different menus and place them over here. Timelines are essentially the chapters within the DVD. Multiple videos can be put into a timeline. And then the build command we'll be using when we're finally done. It'll tell us how much of the DVD has actually been used. A 4.7 gig DVD is a lot of space, but as you add to more menus and more video, your disk size will get larger. It tells you that you do have a current recorder that will burn the DVD. And of course you can go ahead and change these different outputs from Blu-ray to Flash and different disk folder image or masters. It also gives you the option to check the project. It'll go out and check all the navigation for you and say, hey, this isn't working, or this this link doesn't go anywhere. So it's virtually foolproof once we get rolling in here. Next, over to the right, we have a monitor, and there's nothing in here yet, but when we bring in video content, or for that matter, any photographs, this will show what the output is, what's going to actually burn on the DVD and what's going to play. Of course, if we had menus, they would show over here. And then a flowchart is going to give us, pretty much from the start of the disk, it's going to show us where everything moves within our project so that we can kind of track the navigation. Over to the right, we have a properties panel, and anytime you select on a certain asset, those properties will show up. If you're doing any text, we can do text layers, we can put captions in, we can do all that stuff right here in the DVD. That will be under character. Now, just like all the other, we have the workspace. We can go in and do different design workspaces, which would change things around. I hit navigation, and it changes here. I go into slideshow, it changes to that. We'll be working in the default, just so everyone can follow along. There's some other tools up here. You got your select tool, you got your move tool, rotate, a text tool, vertical text. We can zoom in and out. And then we have several different application menus up here as well. Finally, down here at the bottom, you see where it says no timelines. As we create our DVD, we'll be able to shuffle through the different chapters of the DVD by selecting on the different timelines. Over to the right, we have a library. The library has a default amount of menus and graphics, everything from buttons to you name it. So you can go in here, and there are different sets. You see that there's corporate, education, entertainment, general. So you'll want to take a few minutes to navigate through there and look at the different templates that are set up. And then these are filters down here, where if you want to filter and just look for buttons, or if you just want to look for images or backgrounds. And here's the whole menu. So there's a lot of different options here. Styles. Same thing, we can go in and apply a lot of different styles, almost like filters, to the different layers, the various layers, emboss on images and drop shadows and that good stuff. Layers. Just like Photoshop, this is sort of like a cross between Photoshop and Premiere. Layers will give us the ability to go in with a menu and look at the various layers of that menu, which were originally generated in Photoshop. In our Resource Central, there's just some things that you have there that you can go out and watch some video tutorials or learn some stuff about DVD. So that's a quick rundown on the interface. Before we move on, though, I want to go ahead and show you how to bring in some assets. I'm going to go to File, Import, and notice that we have some options when we want to import our files. Asset is pretty much your video, your audio, your photographs. Menus are separately. Menus are going to be a series of layered graphics that are going to give you the ability to choose navigation to what buttons go where, to what videos and whatnot. Pop-up menus are more popular for Blu-ray, where the menu will pop up during the video. We can also create an entire timeline as well as a slideshow, which will automatically take our graphic assets and put them in like a 5 or 6 minute video that will transition from one to another. So there are several different things we can bring in. We're going to go ahead and import assets. Majority of you that are going to be using this program will be importing probably some 3D work to create your 3D work, your 3D portfolio. So on my desktop, I'm going to navigate out to my Project 3 folder. And in my Project 3 folder, I have 4 video clips that I'm going to use as an example. So I'm going to go ahead and select the first one, hold Shift and select the last one so I can import all 4 at the same time, and hit Open. Now these videos are AVI uncompressed, and that's how I do recommend them to be used. But if we were to go right now and create a DVD, these would not work because DVDs require MPEG format. To turn a video into MPEG, we must put it into a timeline. So I'm going to go ahead and click my video here and simply come up to the word timeline and hit New Timeline. And what it's going to do, it's going to take that video and add a MPEG version of it right above. So I'm going to do that for each of my videos in the project. Now we do not want to delete these assets because they all eventually are external files that the DVD is going to need. Right now it's a placeholder. So if you delete it, you're going to delete the timeline, so do not leave them in there. But we will not need them here. We will be using the timeline version to link it to the menu. So in our next project, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save this DVD project. And in our next project, we're going to go into Photoshop, and I'm going to show you, give you an introduction on how to start building your own personalized DVD menu. Then we'll come back in and look at some of the templates to give us some ideas, and then show you how Photoshop works seamlessly with Encore.